Getting a driver's license is both liberating and frightening. Liberating for teens and frightening for parents. But there are some things that families can do to make teens safer behind the wheel and parents more at ease waiting for their teen to come home. For years, Liberty Mutual and SAD, Students Against Destructive Decisions, have studied teen drivers to learn not only what choices they make in the car, but why they make those choices. These studies have revealed some interesting findings. Parents can and do have a significant influence on their teens' driving decisions. We know this because teens themselves tell us that parents are their biggest influence. But unfortunately, many unsafe driving habits aren't discussed, such as driving with too many friends in the car, driving unsafe vehicles, and driving under the influence of drugs. Nevertheless, most teens still believe they are safe drivers. I'm Stephen Wallace, Chairman and CEO of SAD. I'm here with a group of teens to get their thoughts about these issues and more. Thanks for coming, everybody.
I don't think I'm a safe driver. I'm kind of busy, like after school and stuff. I work 7 days a week, so I'm like always on the go. And I don't know, I like to be prompt. So if I'm going to be late, I speed, and it just happens.
I think they're really irresponsible. They're talking on their cell phones, they have like 4 friends in the car, they're not really paying attention to the road, they're changing music, they're just not paying attention.
Because I work a lot, so when I get home I'm just tired, so I start speeding, I have my music loud, I don't concentrate. My friend calls, I pick up, start talking to them.
If like it's like a place where like I don't think that there's any cars around, I won't wait as long as a stop sign.
I didn't really get much out of driver's ed. I was usually tired after school and kind of just sleep through them, wake up for the movies.
In the classroom, it's more like what like don't drink and drive, don't do this, don't do that, and it's less of actually teaching you how to drive.
We never went out at night. We didn't go out during the rain or the snow or whatever.
I think it's a huge thing to learn what to do in like emergency situations. If I'm skidding and I'm about to like hit a parked car, I still don't know which way to turn the wheel.
I don't think the license exam itself displays enough of how the person drives.
I don't know, I turn my car on and it starts beeping at me, so I just like shut it up, I just put it down, lock it onto something, and then it doesn't yell at me, so I just kind of forget about it. Because when I have it on, I feel like I'm going to get like choked to death, so late night I usually wear it. Okay. But I'd probably say less than 10% of the time I wear my seatbelt.
Is there anything that would make you wear it more often? What would be an incentive?
Going through the windshield would probably,
learning the hard way.
Straighten me up a little bit.
If I'm running down the street, I won't put my seatbelt on, but if I know I'm going somewhere a long distance, I will.
I think on average, you get between 10 to 15 over the speed limit with most teenagers.
I know a lot of people that are like, if you're driving like 10 under the limit, they say you're driving like an old lady.
Okay. Even if you're driving the speed limit. I've driven the speed limit and people are like, why are you driving so slowly?
I think a lot of teenagers push the 10-mile-an-hour limit because we know cops aren't going to pull us over for 10 miles an hour.
Sometimes I won't really look at like the speedometer, I just kind of like go off like what I see, and then I'll look and I'll be going much like faster than I thought I was.
If you have a cell phone, you'll talk on it when you're driving.
I bet you everybody in this room has done it at least once if they own a cell phone.
I always text, and that gets me in a lot of trouble because a lot of times I lose control of the wheel and I start driving all over the place.
With the iPod, you're driving, you're like looking over the iPod, you're like trying to see what's going on, so that can get dangerous.
And so I'm always grabbing food and a drink or something, and by the time I get in the car, half the time it spills, and then you lose complete focus of the road.
My friends would go to like a drive-thru and then we like try and eat like something, and like say the fries will fall over. So I've seen them like reach down, like completely like not even looking up forward anymore to like grab their food, and just like it's crazy. Like they could have just died right there.
They're just little things that, you know, take a second while you're driving can really cause a bad thing to happen.
And I know situations where people have been piled on and lying across people in the back and then like 4 people in the trunk.
If I'm driving and like a bunch of my girlfriends are in the car and like we have the music loud and everyone's talking, and if we're like going somewhere, like I would tend to drive faster and be not paying attention.
As soon as you get one person in the car, it gets like, you start to kind of talk to that person and you start to pay a little less like attention to the road. When you're alone, you're more focused on what you're doing.
Teenagers, bickering or fighting or, like playing with the radio or, moving around, distracting you, I believe that it's a hazard.
I know people think they're better drivers when they're high as opposed to when they're straight. I mean, it happens so much more than when you're drunk, because you get lectured on drunk driving, but you don't get lectured as much as driving on other stuff.
You could be sober and get into an accident, but the risk is so much higher when you're under the influence of something.
People don't think like marijuana impairs your judgment as much as drinking does, because they feel like they're more in control, and they're really not.
You see the way they drive, and you kind of like, without really meaning to, kind of incorporate that into the way you drive.
Your parents are used to driving fast. You're only used to driving fast, so if you're driving slow, you're going to be like, oh, this is boring, so you're going to have a tendency to drive faster.
Like if I'm in the car with my mother and she does something wrong, she'll be like, don't ever do what I just did, or stuff like that. It's like, so she'll give me like examples of stuff not to do when she accidentally does it.
My dad likes to speed a lot.
Back when I first got my license, like if they found people in the car or like they knew people were in the car, I'd get my license taken away.
I think it's better to have restrictions and curfews so that they just aren't out and tired and driving.
Peers and parents factor into it, but I think it's mainly myself, because I think it's important to have your own standards and know your limits.
My parents really never discussed anything. It was just basically after I got my license, oh, I need milk, go to the store.
My parents, they just said, be careful, there's crazy drivers out there. So that's it.
No, my parents stressed awareness when you're driving.
My parents stress not speeding.
My parents just said like a lot about how driving, it's not like a right, it's a privilege.
Even now, I've been driving for over 6 months, but I went out to eat with my dad the other day and he had me drive, and it was on the highway, and he likes to see how I'm driving, and he still gives me tips and pointers.
My parents are always like, if you need a ride home, we'll give you a ride home, just don't get in a dangerous situation.
There is a real cost to risky behaviors, in lives and in deaths. The film we are about to see, Smashed, Toxic Tales of Teens and Alcohol, gives an inside look at the real price of risky driving behaviors. The film was produced by HBO Family and made available to RAD, Recording Artists, Actors, and Athletes Against Drunk Driving, and the RAD Youth Coalition, through the generosity of HBO. Liberty Mutual is partnering with RAD and the RAD Youth Coalition in joint efforts to promote safety. Let's take a look.
We would like to have permission to decompress the right chest.
Broken voices on broken folk. Take a deep breath. Feel like you're taking everything is broken.
4 minutes. He's at University Hospital in Baltimore. He's in shock trauma.
Do we know this kid's name? IBX 16. Look at that leg. Oh my God.
When he came in, he really wasn't breathing very well on his own. His brain was not effectively telling his body what to do. When you look at someone who can't respond to you properly, you use their movements and their response to eye-opening to evaluate where they are.
It's not moving at all.
All right, let's all keep our fingers crossed here.
Until he wakes up and starts showing us what he can do. We can't tell where he's going to go right now.
That's really cute. Hey, hi, baby. Timmy.
I'd love for my son to be 100% better, but I have to keep in mind, like they said, you know, it might be up to a year before you know, or it could be a couple of months. They don't know. They don't know when you haven't had injury.
Take a look at me. My name is Tim. Good. Real loud. Take it easy.
Tim.
Good, Timmy. You see Dad up there? You gonna follow him?
No.
There you go.
Why did they go back to doing the same thing? I have no idea.
I don't see any problem with partying. Just don't think you should do it all the time, every night. But if you know how much you can drink and then drive, I just say it's all right.
It's been 4 years now. June 7th, I just basically ruined my life. Got in the car with the drunk driver, and then the driver was just like speeding and then just slammed into a tree.
The momentum of the accident was so bad that, I mean, physics basically just took over, and her brain continued to move even though her head had stopped.
I was in a coma for 81 days.
Her spleen had ruptured. Many of her ribs were broken. Her liver was damaged, and her pelvis was smashed. She couldn't communicate. She couldn't talk. She couldn't eat. She couldn't use the bathroom. She couldn't... nothing. She was like an infant again. It's very sad to watch her kid not be able to function and to sit around by themselves and have no job and have no car, have no life. Probably the worst thing, I think. Just the part that always gets me is because she had this huge, just big smile. And like half of it's gone now from paralysis. I probably won't ever see that smile again.
Tell me, whose story did you find to be most powerful?
The ATV kid, because, I mean, he went through so much, and you could tell, like, he'd been in an accident because his face is a little bit deformed, and, like, his legs, he's not walking as well. And then he can still, like, be rude to his family, and, like, I just think it's amazing what brain injuries can do.
When he started to live his life again, he goes back to drinking, doing foolish things, and treats his mother, you know, disrespectful, and it just I don't know, just kind of weirds me out. It's powerful.
What makes it so scary is that it's real and it happens to thousands of kids all the time, and because of their stupid judgments, so many other people are affected who didn't even do anything, yet their lives are changed because of their decisions.
It made me, think about how I am and to change my ways of driving.
Any of the other stories strike people as particularly moving?
The girl who was permanently brain damaged, and she was in like a coma for like 7 months or something crazy like that, and then when her mom was talking about that, she started crying when she talked about her smile because like half of her mouth she couldn't like lift up. Like that's just so sad. It's like you lose your whole life, and something so like symbolic or whatever as your smile. It's just, I mean, that was just really sad to see her mom talk about that.
There was sort of a sense from watching a lot of these kids in the video that they felt invincible, indestructible. Do any of you feel that way?
I totally am the same way that they talked about in the movie. Like even going home today, I'm not going to be like, I could get in a fatal car accident on the way home. Like people just don't think like that.
I hear a lot about kids drinking and driving and dying, and I still don't think it's going to happen to me. I still don't.
I think we all get the distraction. I think because we get away with it time and again, then we think we can get away with drinking and driving, and that can, drugs, and you keep, it's just like a snowball, and if you can keep getting away with it, then you keep doing it until, unfortunately it becomes fatal.
Sadly, a lot of times it takes a personal experience for it to happen to someone you know or around you, or be you, for people to realize what happens.
There's stuff I think I should change, but I don't know if I will. I can try, but sometimes just habits are hard to break. And so the best you can do is try and hope that you just get better.
Here's a checklist teens and parents can use to stay safe on the road. First, for teens, there is not safety in numbers. Restrict the number of passengers you allow in your car. The risk of a crash increases significantly with each additional passenger. Practice does make perfect. The more teens and parents practice together, the better driver teens will be. Parents, choose a safe vehicle for your teen. Car selection is tremendously important to ensure teen safety. Their car should have adequate safety features and not be more car than they can handle. Set a curfew. 25% of all teen driving deaths happen between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. Talk. Talk openly and often. Clearly communicate expectations about driving behaviors, such as seatbelt use, speeding, drinking and driving, as well as drugging and driving, and enforce consequences. Now here are some tips for everyone. I know you've heard it before, but nothing holds you better than a seatbelt. Seatbelts save lives, plain and simple. Watch the lead foot. Don't speed. Speeding is involved in nearly a third of all fatal crashes. Hands on the wheel. Minimize distractions. This includes everything from the CD player to the cell phone. Distracted drivers are a factor in 25 to 50% of all vehicle crashes. Never ever drink and drive. And never drug and drive. Talk about the dangers of drugging and driving in the same way you discuss drinking and driving. For more information about Liberty Mutual's teen driving resources, contact your local Liberty Mutual representative.